Hello everyone and welcome back. First of all, please remember to go subscribe and like. Today we are going to speak about prosthetics. So, welcome back. I want to talk to you a bit about prosthetics and what prosthetics actually have to do with wildlife. As you can see, that guy over there, not only did he lose his head, he also lost an arm. But I want to focus on this guy over here. Let's call her, I don't know, let's call her Maggie. So Maggie clearly lost a few limbs. So over here you can clearly see she lost a limb above her knee. So that we actually call a above the knee amputation, or an AK, an above knee amputation. But the poor little guy who lost his head and his arm, let's slide, scooch over here. He actually lost his leg below his knee. So that means he is a below knee amputation. So that is basically the street talk. Medically, this is referred to as a transtibial amputation. Now you're gonna ask me why is it a transtibial amputation? Because this bone over here, it's your tibial bone. So when you cut your leg off below the knee, you cut your leg off through the tibial, which means transtibial. This bone over here is your femoral bone. So when you lose your leg above your knee, you cut through the femoral bone. So that means it's a transfemoral amputation. So this guy, he actually does have a transtibial amputation. And what's her name again? Maggie. Yeah, Maggie, she actually has a transfemoral amputation. Now you're gonna ask me, but AB, what does all of these things mean? And what does this have in connotation with wildlife prosthetics? Well, basically it's the same thing. Animals also have knees, as you know. It's actually very interesting because the anatomy of an animal and the anatomy of humans are actually very similar. Humans also have, or let me rather say animals, they have the same bones as humans. For instance, the eagle also have radius, ulnus, humeral bones, which we have, it's our arm bones. Animals also have the femoral bone and tibial bone. So the anatomy of animals and humans are actually very similar. Obviously, not everything is exactly the same. I mean, otherwise we would have been animals. But the anatomy is similar. So that's why we also refer to animals as the animal was amputated below the knee, or the animal was amputated above the knee. Okay, so that is actually the anatomy of an amputation. Let me get to a bit more. Let me actually just at least sit on a chair. Alright, so what does all of these things mean? It means a lot of things, but it's actually very simple. If you have the amputation below your knee, we build you a below knee prosthesis, or a BK prosthesis, below knee prosthesis. If your leg is above your knee, you lost your leg above your knee or through the femoral, we build you an above knee prosthesis, or AK prosthesis, above knee. This also refers to the arms as well. So the arms are actually the same. Let me show you on my arm. If I lose my arm over here, it's through the humerus, so that's a transhumeral amputation. If I lose my arm over here, it's through the radius, so it's a transradial amputation. It's mainly used in birds because the wings are actually the arms of the bird. Like for instance, Bab, you know Bab, he's on the sanctuary at Getzamatula. Bab actually lost his wing through his radius. So it's a transradial amputation actually. It's a partial amputation. So with birds you actually use the same anatomy and they actually use the same methodology and terminology for the arm of the humans, with mainly with birds. There is birds that actually lost legs and so forth, but that technology really is not where it needs to be, because it's such a small part of the bird. The bird's leg is actually such a small part of the bird. The bird rarely uses the leg, and the bird rarely uses the leg for support or for strength or for anything. In some cases, yes, the birds, they do use their legs for hunting and eating, like the eagle and bird of prey and so forth, but the thing is, it's still such a small part of the bird. The technology is actually not there yet. And then any type of land animal, you can say, but the animal lost the limb below the knee or above the knee, on the back leg or the front leg, the left or the right, whatever. But if it's a bird or a bird of prey, you say that the animal is actually amputated through the radius, or the animal is actually amputated through the ulna or the humerus. So that means it's a wing amputation. Yeah, that is basically the simplest form of explaining all the amputations that you can transfer from human amputations to animal amputations, and how you use the animal amputations based on the human amputations as well. So the terminology and the methodology and everything is still the same. You just need to tweak a little bit here and there for animals. Unfortunately, that is all that I have for you today. Go check out all the other channels, and go check the other videos here. Please share as much as you can, and go have a look at other social media content as well. Thank you very much. Until next time. Cheers, guys.